Hey all, this is Mr. De Vicente. I'm the EL coordinator here at Pinacati Middle School. I will be going over the new CEL test, which is called LPAC, which stands for English Language Proficiency Assessments for California. This test is for all English learners, and this test is very important for you guys because this is the test that we use to reclassify you as English proficient. And as many of you know, uh, earning English proficiency status on this test you will qualify you to gain an elective class, and you will not have to be in an English support class like you are right now. The LPAC will test you in 4 domains of language, and they are the same as the CEL test: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And these are the different sections of where they will um, test you on your English skills. So we're going to take 1 day to practice listening skills and do the practice questions, 1 day to do the reading questions to get ready for this test, and another day for writing, and 1 day for speaking. Your teacher can go into more depth with these practice questions if they like, or like I said, you can also access this test online. If you don't access test online ever, this is a really important one for you guys, but because again, this is for reclassification status. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. In the listening domain, you will do different types of questions, and this part of the test will test to see how well you understand English by listening to it. And so, in question one of the LPAC test, you will listen to a short exchange between two students in a school setting, and then you will answer one question about the conversation. So let's practice this. This is the conversation. Listen carefully. You will hear the conversation only once. After listening, you will answer a question. Girl: I love how we can mix paint together to make new colors, but when we mix red and blue paint, it's supposed to turn purple. Boy: You're right, but this still looks blue. We need to add more red paint to the bowl. Class: Why are the girl and boy going to add more paint to the bowl? A, because they want the paint to change color. B, because they do not have enough paint for their pictures, or C, because they are following the teacher's directions. Answer the question now. Did you answer the question? Great. Okay, raise your hand if you selected A, B, or C. Very good. The correct answer is A, because they want the paint to change color. Okay, let's continue. The next task type: students listen to a recording of a conversation between two speakers in a classroom. Students then answer 3 questions about the conversation. Now, listen to a conversation between a boy and a girl. Listen carefully. You will hear the conversation only once. After listening, you will answer some questions. Boy: Wow, the school book fair has so many tables. When I carried books inside this morning, the tables weren't here yet. Girl: I know. Could you give me a hand putting the snacks out? Boy: Sure. There's space on the table near the door. Let's put the snacks there. Girl: Good idea. So what kind of books are you going to look for? Boy: I think stories about nature. Books that talk about different plants and animals. What about you? Girl: I recently started reading adventure books, but I'm not sure they'll have any. When we finish working, let's ask Mrs. McBride about the books they'll have here today. She's the teacher in charge. This is the end of the conversation. Here are the questions. What are the students doing? Did everybody make their answer? Okay. How many students answered question answer A, answer B, or answer C? Good. You are correct. The correct answer is B, setting up a school event. Question 3. What kinds of books does the boy like? Okay, raise your hand if you selected A, B, or C. Good. The correct answer is A, books about nature. Question 4. What will the students probably do next? Is the correct answer A, B, or C? Very well. If you selected C, you selected the correct answer. Talk to a teacher. All right, good job, guys. Next, we're going to go to listen to an oral presentation. In this type of question, students listen to a recording of an oral presentation on an academic topic. Students then answer 4 questions about the information. During an actual administration of this type, students may take notes in their test book. During this section of the test, you will also see an image. For this practice test, the image is of this apple. And the instructions say that you can take notes in your test booklet. So when you're listening to the oral presentation, you're able to take notes on the sides of your test book. Here is the presentation. You will hear the information only once. After listening, you will answer some questions. As you listen, you may use the blank areas in your test book to take notes. Have you ever noticed when you're eating an apple that the inside part that's usually white, when you first bite into it, starts to turn brown after a while? Why does the inside of an apple start to turn brown? Well, it's because of what apples have inside of them. Apples have a lot of iron in them. Iron is a metal, and it's also a mineral that's important for our health. It's, it's the iron in the apple that makes it turn brown. When you bite into the apple, oxygen in the air touches the iron in the apple. When this happens, the apple starts to turn brown. Some people call this rusting. You know, just like the rust you might see on old bicycles or old metal tools. These things get rusty for the same reason. Oxygen in the air touches the iron in the metal. Now, for an apple, the skin protects the inside from touching the air. But once you take a bite and break the skin, the iron and oxygen begin to react with each other. Now, if you don't want to eat brown apples, there are some things you can do to slow down the process. After you cut the apple, you can squeeze lemon juice onto it or dip it in a glass of orange juice. Some fruits, such as lemons and oranges, contain citric acid, and citric acid will slow down the browning. You can just put the sliced apple in the refrigerator. Cool temperatures also slow down the process. This is the end of the presentation. Now let's go to 3 questions. What is the teacher mainly discussing? Is it answer A, B, or C? Very good. If you selected C, why apples change color, you are correct. Question 6. What does the teacher say that apples have inside of them? Is it answer A, B, or C? Okay, let's see the answers. Selected answer A, answer B, or answer C. Very good. If you selected answer A, you are correct. Iron. Question 7. Why is the skin of the apple important? Is it answer A? Is it answer B? Or is it answer C? Very good. If you selected answer B, you are correct. It protects the inside of the apple from air. All right, good job, students. So now we're going to the fourth type of question that you will be asked during the LPAC test. In this type of question, students will listen to a recording of an extended conversation between two speakers in a school context. In the conversation, one classmate provides support for an opinion. Students then answer 4 questions about the conversation and the support given for the opinion. During an actual administration of this question type, students may take notes in their test book. So in this part of the test, you will listen to a conversation between two students. The boy is discussing his opinion about walkable spaces. Listen carefully. You will hear the conversation only once. After listening, you will answer questions about the conversation and the evidence the boy gives to support his opinion. As you listen, you may use the blank areas in the test book to take notes. Okay, students, so at this time, remember that you can take notes on the side of your practice test here. Here is the conversation. Boy, every night when I take my dog for a walk, it's so frustrating. The streets are super crowded with cars. Girl, I know. It's the same for me when I walk my dogs. But then again, we do need cars. Boy, that's true. But in some places, they're creating areas where people can walk without cars in their way. These areas are called walkable spaces. We just learned about it in my social studies class. Girl, your social studies class sounds interesting. Boy, definitely. And so, by walking from place to place, people benefit from the exercise and it's more people are walking. Then there are fewer cars, and that means less pollution. Car exhaust is a major source of air pollution, you know. Girl, yes, pollution's a big problem. So then, why aren't there more walkable spaces? Boy, that's what I was wondering. So I looked it up on the internet. Here's what I found out. Basically, at some point in the past, a lot of community leaders thought that cars and other motor vehicles were very important. So important that they built cities and towns around the idea that most people would be traveling that way. They just didn't give much thought to people who might want to get around by walking. They figured everyone preferred to drive. Girl, I see. So, isn't it kind of too late then? I mean, we can't rebuild entire cities. Boy, no, but we can create more walkable spaces. Some streets can be blocked off so cars can't drive on them at all. And on other streets, barriers can be put in to protect new walking areas from automobile traffic. Girl. And how about, I mean, public transportation? If more people use buses and trains and things like that, then there wouldn't be as many cars on the road. I know buses are still more motor vehicles that drive on the streets, but they carry a lot more people than a car can, right? Boy, sure. If more people use public transportation, that would certainly be a step in the right direction. This is the end of the conversation. Here are your 3 questions. Why does the boy mention walking his dog? Is it answer A, B, or C? Very good. If you selected B, your answer is correct. To introduce a problem he has faced. Question 10. Where did the boy first learn about walkable spaces? Answer A, B, or C? Very good. If you selected A in a class at school, your answer is correct. Question 11. What does the boy say about pollution? Is it question A, B, or C? Very good. If you selected B, your answer is correct. It would decrease if fewer people drove cars. All right, guys, so thank you for participating in the listening domain of the LPAC.